December 3rd, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. There wasn't very many setups, and I didn't take a trade today. There were two pieces of economic data that came out, one at 5:15 Pacific Standard, which is about, you can even see the timestamp NinjaTrader gave. Right about here, it was the ADP Non-Farm Employment Change. You could pretty much say it caused this big sell-off. Then probably about an hour later, it bounced and recovered. Then it moved into this larger bullish rally, but it's kind of choppy. And then there was another piece of economic data right around here, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard, was the ISM Services PMI. And it was kind of already on its way up, so you could argue maybe it caused this or maybe it didn't. But other than that, I really only found two setups in the day that were probably worth trading. Unfortunately, I didn't take them. Otherwise, the rest of the day was kind of slow, kind of choppy. We can get into the trades right now. So the pre-market, you were just kind of, it pushed up, moved sideways, pushed up again, and then it sold off on the news. Break of the green down channel, pushed to the lows. Looked like it was pushing up on this green up channel, but it was just pretty much choppy. It looked like it was sideways trading range, and then it looked like it might have been moving up this yellow up channel. There were second entries, but there were a lot of them that were incomplete, meaning the signal bars were inside bars, or the setup just was in an area that was ambiguous. Or if you're trying to play range rules throughout the day, and there's a couple of areas where there's consolidation, the ranges were really tight and it was just very noisy. So all in all, at the end of the day, I was kind of okay with not taking a trade because, to be honest, it looked very trappy and a little sparse in the setups. It looks like it was moving into sideways consolidation. There's a failed breakout here, but there's no setup here. You do have potentially a triple test here, but there's no setup here as well. It starts moving down this green down channel. This is just consolidating congestion, even though it has a bearish bias going for it. There's no real second entries. It's a low, causes a failed breakout of this green down channel, pushes back up. Initially, what I think was this red up channel break, makes two attempts up, and then it continues upwards. So then I established this orange up channel. No clean second entries. There's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. Technically, you kind of have a second entry long right around here. But if you argue that this second entry, it never broke below and it's a bad signal bar. EMA is throughout the day really not very helpful because prices are going both above and below it. So you can kind of look at the rest of the day. Yes, you kind of get an idea that the EMA is trending up, but if you look at the whole day, it's not acting as a very reliable resistance most of the time or support. So it was hard to trade or hard to trust any setups. So prices moved up this orange up channel break. So it's like a visual first entry long pullback, second entry long, but there's no setup here. It's also, if you try to use it as a signal bar, it's an inside bar, but it's just visual. There's nothing really clean setting up here. Pushes up on this orange up channel, break. So it looks like it was two legs up. It was a new localized low. It's like a first entry short right here. I mean, if you looked at a smaller tick frame, you could maybe argue it's like a first entry short, second entry short, but I'm playing the 2000 tick chart. So I had to kind of follow the rules based upon the 2000 tick chart. So there's no trade in this area, at least no safe trade I could identify. It does make a localized high. It's like a first entry long pullback, second entry long, but this is a bad signal bar. In real time, you don't know that it's going to do this. Starts moving. And it pushes up. I established this. I thought this might have been a spike and a potential channel, so it wasn't colored in at the time, but it became this yellow up channel because it became this touch here, this touch, one touch, two touch. This third touch doesn't arrive until about here. It pushes up. It looks like it's moving sideways consolidation again. You have a second entry long here, but this is risky because it's just very tight trading, it's just noisy. Pushes down. You could argue maybe there's a triple test here, one touch, two touch. But this triple test, it fails to be marked, in my opinion, as a setup because it's the inside bar to this. So you still have to wait. Pushes up and through. And it finally actually sets up the first possible trade. But I really only identified two possible trades today. So you have clearly a localized high, top of a range. Even before this one shows up, you think you're in a range, or I think I'm in a range. There's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. It hasn't created a second entry long here. This setup is where the second entry long is created, and it's also a triple test. So this is a pretty nice setup, but you have to have taken it on the engulfing and you had to have been quick and kind of fully aware that this is about to happen. To take it as soon as it broke above here, maybe drop your order in. But even if you did try to take this trade, it feels like a 1 point scalp. Because to be safe, I'd wait for this to be first entry long pullback, confirm second entry long, but I'd want to see how this one closed. Once it closed, you have a triple test, second entry long. You had to put your entry one tick above here or at the highs. I would be reluctant to put it back all the way back here because you're asking for the next candle to pretty much retrace almost half this candle move, pick you up, and then push back up. But if you did try to take it, I think it's only good for a 1 point scalp. 2 point scalp, you're already pressing toward the highs of this localized high. So it'd be good enough for a 1 point scalp. You'd probably enter it on this trade, and then this one would give you your 1 point scalp. Technically, I think it would have given you maybe 2 points depending on where you entered here, but it's just safer as a 1 point scalp because clearly you don't want to be trying to have prices press through this clearly respected resistance up here. I marked this. I just noticed it in real time, but I didn't think it was anything though. I just saw I had an arrow. It's just a new low, localized low because it's actually lowered in here. So you restart the count, first entry short, pull back, second entry short, push up, and this is like a lower high. Unfortunately, this just looks side by side. It's already reached the top of the range, so I'm expecting prices to come back down. So that's why I thought there's a chance it might come back down and touch the low side. Even though the EMA ends up being not very reliable, right here at this time of day in real time, it's a little ambiguous. I'm not ready to write off the EMA at this time of day that it's not reliable yet. So I was concerned that it could actually act as a bounce point. Although all indications to me felt like it was going to push back down to here. But it is a little bit counter trend because, as I mentioned, it looks like prices are moving up. And I drew the highs and the lows of the pre-market to encapsulate that this might actually just be a gigantic trading range for the day. So that's how come I marked it as an arrow, but not really as a trade setup. If you did try to take it, you'd be entered here. You'd have to sit through this noise, and finally one of these two candles probably would have gotten you your 1 or 2 point scalp. The bounces. Now I trust this purple trading range pretty well because it's clearly established. So it gets up to the highs here. I'm watching this very closely, but I'm not ready to take a short yet because there's no setup here. Potential fail breakout. You do have a first entry short, but it comes all the way back down, so there's no setup here now. Pushes back down. There's another fail breakout of this purple range, so I'm thinking prices might go back into here. It also touches nicely and confirms this yellow up channel. Keep in mind this red one doesn't exist yet, and toward the end of the day, when I did establish it, it wasn't really worth anything or worth coloring it in, so that's how come it just stays transparent. It was something I was thinking of at the time. There's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long here because it breaks above, but you don't have a confirmed second entry long till this candle shows up. So this isn't even a good signal bar for you to anticipate a trade might be setting up. Starts moving up, goes back down, respects the low side of this trading range again. Break of this orange up channel. I'm expecting prices maybe to move back up to here. EMA now is acting not very reliably as any kind of indicator. So because prices are both above and below it. So you're just kind of leaving things alone, not basing it as a key entry point at this point. And it pushes up and pushes out. Now clearly it's outside this range now. I don't think this range is valid anymore. When it comes back down, maybe it touches the top of this range, but that I don't really use it as a key indicator. It's a new high, it's a first entry long pullback. You technically have a second entry long confirmed here, but it's below the EMA. It might be in this range again. So it's hard for me to know for sure if it's going to push back up or continue back downwards. So it's just an area that I'm not sure of. So I'm just sitting on my hands and waiting. Starts pressing down. I'm thinking it might be moving down this orange down channel. Here when it bounces, I do draw this as a trend line. One touch, two touch, but it wasn't established as a channel yet. So I'm just going to collapse this because this is what I was thinking in real time. Imagine this as being one line. I did play with the idea that potentially it could be a channel, but didn't really look that clean yet. So imagine it was just collapsed. So I do have only two touch confirmation right now. Prices move up, break of the green up channel, comes back down, and it creates this higher low. I thought this is actually another decent trade because it's actually, so it's pushed down of this orange down channel. There's not enough information here to trust this as a bounce or a reliable support yet, but it's a break. It recovered more than 50%. Break of this green up channel is tested the highs, pushing back down. It technically looks like a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. Technically, it's a higher low, but it could be a hidden second entry long. Really strong signal bar. And I did have this blue channel support drawn as a trend line at the time. It was actually collapsed down to here. I was thinking, okay, there's a third touch confirmation. There's enough room for a one even 2-point scalp. Looks like prices are moving back into this yellow channel. So I thought this is a possible trade. Ends up it would have worked, but I wasn't quick enough. And to be honest, I didn't really trust the read until I saw this, but then by then it was too late. The prices continue moving up, pushes out of the pre-market trading range. Well, getting close to the pre-market trading range. It pushes out of this potential trading range. It's these triple doji consolidation, so I'm just staying out of this. This is just noise. I'm not trusting this. It stays in this range for a little bit of time. As a failed breakout, comes back down, pushes back up. Now this blue up channel, I'm trusting the support side pretty well. This is one touch, two touch, pretty much supporting on this side pretty reliably. This is whether it's up here or down here. I actually thought it might have been a little bit higher because there's this breakout, but then a sideways consolidation and a continuation up. So I thought, okay, there's probably no break. Maybe it's something closer to this. I widened the range. Pushes up. Unfortunately, there's no setup here. Kind of oscillates, and it looks like it's in another trading range, this purple trading range. So it's technically a new high here. First entry long, pullback. You have a second entry long. It's a bad signal bar. Not a good signal bar, with the fact that it only kind of bounced off here 2 times at this point, because it was another trading range back here, and it wasn't a, it's kind of red. I didn't really trust it. The prices continue moving up, bounces. So I'm thinking, okay, could there be a green channel going up? So if you look to the left, it's kind of noisy. It's just choppy, noisy, but you do know there's a bullish bias right now. So the bullish bias is telling me, okay, just look for reasons to go long. Don't really get clever and try to take anything short yet. So again, hits the sideways consolidation, just noise. It follows the support of this green up channel pretty well. Unfortunately, there's no trade setup. And by this time of day, these candles were taking quite a bit of time. Quite a bit of time, meaning about like more than just a minute or 2 minutes, taking like 2 or 3 minutes to close out, maybe up to 4. So I don't want to be stuck in something like here where it feels a little indecisive. Volatility is clearly dropping. It just feels like it'd be a slug. If you enter the trade, you just be sitting there and hoping, finally get your 1 or 2 point scalp. Plus, the setups weren't that appealing to even try to take a iffy trade. The prices move down, breaks below the EMA again. This gets noisy, and it's getting to the last 30 minutes of the day. So at this point, I'm clearly not thinking of taking any trades now because I was just thinking, okay, well, I didn't see anything today, so I'm not going to try to go for a win. I mean, better just to walk away, live to fight another day. But as you can see, it just kind of gets noisy. Enters the last 10 minutes. Last 10 minutes just kind of bounces, creates this really crazy noise and chop into the close. So kind of an uneventful day. I really only marked 2 trades, and even then, they happened kind of quickly. So for those trades to have been successful, you would have had to taken them pretty much on the engulfing and be ready. And I can't say that I wasn't ready, but I just wasn't confident in the setups or my read of the setups to have a trade ready. So fortunately, this is a no trade day. Hopefully tomorrow yields something better. So hopefully that was helpful.